Hello everyone to the event. I'll be your host today. I'll be Thomas. And before we start, I would like to introduce everyone to NAAC, which is an event where participants will join together as a group, as a team, and develop solutions to tackle problems. And the problem statement for this year will be AI-driven solutions for sustainable development goals, and of course, by using Google technology. So what happens is participants can register in teams, and then they will submit their solutions to the problem in which I have the sustainable development goals. And afterwards, there will be an evaluation period before 10 finalists will be announced. And after the finalists are announced, then there will be a demo day on the 3rd of May to the 4th. So if you guys are interested, just scan the QR code to register to GDG. And if you don't have a team, don't worry. Afterwards, there'll be another QR code in which you can find teams inside the Discord team. So I'll leave this on for a few more seconds. Yep. And this will be the QR code in which you can find teams. Yep. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump right into today's topic, which is Google Workspace with automation by using AppScript. And our guest speaker today will be Mr. Ivan. I'll pass the mic to him. Yeah.
Hi everyone. Yes. All right, good. So here, all the student is it? Anybody professional here or anybody having come here? Sorry, yes, kidding. Don't take it so serious, okay? So the way I present normally I won't read so much, so I just guide you through the process of how it goes about the data, and then slowly maybe I just introduce you my name as well. Don't worry, okay? You guys can read the slide there, right? Okay. So my name is Hernando. You can call me. That's on the almost for me, Ivan, right? So I also being called as Hernando, to know the chicken restaurants, right? So somebody in my CTS call me Lady, so many names. But normally people know me as Nando, okay? So this is I'm coming from Orsted, so Orsted is one of company in Malaysia as well. Okay, so I coming here definitely not introduce my company, so don't worry. Okay, so this is the disclaimer, just a simple disclaimer about the entire things that's related to my personal exploration. Okay, who am I? You can call me, you can scan the QR code and then see my profile activity. So if you 5 seconds to scan. So okay, I also part of Google Approval group last time, and then if you can find my face or anybody know where has my name in the picture, okay, great, okay, thank you. Unfortunately, I didn't prepare any prize today, so yeah, no worry. Okay. So when you scan, you can know my profile technically, roughly, who am I? So you can call me Nando. Okay, I was part of what's that is as well. Here's my profile. I don't want to read, so you just read yourself. Okay, so simple as technically. I'm more focused on the backend and distributed computing.
Online, so
Alright, now it's okay. Hello.
everyone in online, can you guys fix it?
Hello, test. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Those in online,
Okay,
is it clearer?
Can you hear my sound or hello?
Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay. So not sure now whether you guys can hear my sound or
You can see.
okay, great. Cool. Okay, so here is simple profile, so I don't want to read. Definitely just read yourself, don't worry. Okay, so technically is let's go through the things, but at least you know, right? At least my background here. Okay, now we talk about Google Workspace. Anybody know Google Workspace before? Or anybody already use this Google Workspace, or anybody have even use this in daily business? Or not even know, or just want to read for me? Okay, anybody know it before? Okay. Or at least have used that before, or okay, so because if you already use it, you just have fun here, right? So that's this. But of course, if you never use that, it's great. So Google Workspace technically is the product that provided by Google for all those. We call it. It's more of the tools that help you to integrate a lot of things in your daily basis as well. Okay, so in your business, in your daily life, so it's really helpful. If you see the icon there, right? So there is a email. Anybody used email before or right now? Or nobody knows what is Gmail? Okay. Okay, great. No worry. Okay, so you can get it as a Google product, right? But specific for the workspace. So meaning you can collaborate across your teammates or across your uh, organization, up to you. You can use email, Google Meet, whatever it is. Okay, calendar also all the basis. Okay, now we continue to Gemini. Okay. Everyone talking about AI. Okay, so anybody learn AI in the Monash or Monash did you AI today? No, no, I don't. Okay, so all right. So this is your first effort for AI, or actually I already mastered in AI. I don't want to listen your voice. Maybe you can talk to me afterward. No worry. Just intermezzo. Okay. Okay, Google introduced Gemini before, and then until now, it's have a repetition about the how they improve the AI itself from the Gemini 1.5. Now it's 2.0. Then we have a fast and we have a slow. Okay, so we have so many type of use case as well, specifically for those prototypes. So we have three types, like you know, there is a Pro, there is a Nano. So of course you can search in Google. This is just introduction, right? Is it boring? If I read, definitely boring, right? So I don't do it. That is why my style when I present something, I don't read, you read yourself, okay? I'm here to guide you against the word of AI. That is it really difficult to learn, or is it really easy to learn, or what is AI, right? So technically speaking, recently we know about GPT. Everyone uses GPT. Everyone uses Gemini, right? Anyone use GPT for their notebook or of course, right? So I like people, honest people, okay? So because ChatGPT is easy to access, right? Anyone can access it, and then it's free, or even you can pay if let's say you don't have a problem with money, right? Just pay the ChatGPT Pro or something like that. Okay, but in the end of the day, right? The one that we use right now is already out of the decade of research from the my era. Last time we learned machine learning using algorithm and using a matrix laboratory like that. Until today, when you do a final thesis, you imagine, let's say your final thesis, you just replace one thesis, become another thesis. It's really crazy, right? So that's why your lecturers have to be more smarter than you, right? Maybe they can use tools like the JWT just to detect whether you are cheating or not, right? So you imagine how fast the technology going. The evolution of technology. Deep learning is the one actually related to this. Long story short, that will bring in. So you know the title and you know why you are here today, right? The automation. Okay. Okay, when we talk about automation, right? So automation will help you to do something automatically, right? Anybody there to raise hand? Give me an example. Anything we can automate today? Anybody? No? Just raise hand. I'm not your lecturer, I will put everyone to you, right? So let's ask when I'm here.
Automate summarizing all my emails.
Automate summarize all your email. Okay, great. Give a hand of applause for your friend. Okay. One of the, we call it like for the student is very important. And for how for the business is really helpful? Yes. Business also use this in for daily basis as well. They receive the email from the vendor, so they can do automation of that, right? So what kind of automate other than summary? We can other than summarize the information, we also can do a lot of things. Like for example, you want to schedule the things automatically, or even you want to create the document automatically after you pass it somewhere. So now you see this kind of process, right? Previously it was used by human, meaning human do it manually. You imagine everything become automatically. That's why everyone always talking about board, right? I want to use script. I want to create a board or some canggih orang Malaysia cakap kan. So we want to create a board to do something. Okay, we want to create a chatbot. So we don't want to have human interaction anymore. I just hire a bot. You imagine in future, you are not the one that applying job, but bot applying for you. Is it possible? Do you know ATS? Most of the big company using ATS to screen your CV. So for example, your CV is didn't have a specific keyword, they just scrap your CV. You know, so it's a nowadays the technology is crazy. So whenever you apply the job, they say you send something your CV, you send an email to the one email. Okay, just send the CV to the email. What will happen is that email will capture the document, write all the content, and then see whether your keyword makes sense for them. Yes, then you have a chance to be interviewed. If not, exceeded it. So this automation, previously it was HR handle that, now it's both handle that. Okay, so this is the kind of a sample of how automation changed the world. Okay, I don't want to read the case, maybe then I will share the slide to organize it. You can always read. Okay. Wow. Okay. Anyone know this guy? Oh, I have one. Okay. They talk about Gemini. They talk about automation. Talk about what else just now I thought. How we want to mix it together. Is this even possible? Hopefully, but of course it's possible, right? So nowadays everything is possible. Okay, so let's continue with the okay. I was the one to read. So anyway, so technically it's a workspace. Google Workspace. So I want to combine this Google Workspace with AI, for example. Try to summarize some data. Try to connect with something. Is it possible? Yes. So this is a sample that we are going to show to you today. Okay. 4 items. One is about Gemini, second is Gmail, and then watch those. Okay. If you read the pricing of the Gemini, let's say we use Gemini Plus, free of charge, and we have need to pay only when we hit the 1 million token in USD. What is token for this AI? So anybody that comes to this workshop that not even heard that word before, it's okay. You still have time to learn, right? So you can easily check GPT, you can see Google what is token. I can give you an insight that token actually just the word, like the chunk of the word. They use the terminology like this just to give a standard to how the AI will process your screen. But on top of that, the AI word itself, you will know a lot of things like the factor database, like later on Langchain, Langsmith, all those fancy stuff and the transformer architecture. So that kind of thing is too deep. But from the Gemini perspective, let's say we are end user, right? What we need is just say what's in our pocket, right? So this is the first layer of the service layer. Okay? So as you can see there's a pricing. If they say you want to interact with Gemini, so you need to pay only when to hit the free tire. Okay, so when you hit free tire, you don't have to pay. Of course, after 1 million, you should pay. How much need to pay? You see, $0.1. Can you imagine $0.1 how free? So that's $0.1. Don't worry. So you see, in AR, it's really hard, to access this kind of thing. But in your era, right now, it's really easy. So you don't even have to pay. You can try something new already. So you can try AI easily as long as you know how to integrate it. Okay. Okay. So in order to interact with the Gemini, we need to have. Normally, we have two options. One is using open authentication, second is using API key. Anyone know API key before? Or anyone teach you about API key before? Teach yourself. Okay, great. Anyone? I just want to know that in this room, right? You guys are actually student in which semester? Year 3.
I think of year 1.
Okay, year 3. Okay. So in year 3, did you learn about anything related to programming with a web development site or API or SDK or something like that? Or anything you learn about networking, security, something like that? Oh, no, okay. Or you have learned, but maybe you feel like, okay, what did we learn, right? Use for what? Okay, always the same question. Because no worry, I also talk about in Monash, right? I also talk in other university, same feedback. What I did learn, did I learn something that they use in the future, right? So always the same question again. Don't worry. So anyway, university try to give you a guidance, but of course you need to explore it more, right? You need to more deeper than that. Okay. Google AI Studio. So if you want to integrate with the Gemini, even you have money, right? You need to understand how to integrate it, right? So that is the thing. So either you hire someone to integrate it for you, or you want to learn it for yourself. Okay. So normally we use Google AI Studio to get the API key. Okay. So that API key we use to integrate with the API that Gemini provides. Okay. So you imagine nowadays AI looks like become an API. In my era, AI is purely you need to learn every single thing. But nowadays they already abstract into the API level. So you just need to pass it a certain parameter, specifically like A, constant, temperature and weather as well. So to let the API know what you want. Okay. So other than the AI Studio, this is another mechanic we call it open authentication. So that one is another security layer in order to integrate with the API of the Gemini. Okay, so I'm not sure how well first you guys this through, but I try to do it slowly. So if let's say you feel like this is just for beginner, don't worry, it's just every 5 years, okay? But if you feel this one is so complicated, don't worry, you can have to learn. I'm not your rector anyway, right? So I'm not the one that giving you a mark. But I'm here is just to give you the insight that okay, industry already go that way. Okay, so let's go to this. The new job landscape in the future will always someone say prompt engineer, right? You heard that word before. If you have someone that deal with US or Europe, they're always talking about prompt engineer. So next time you'll become an engineer just to prompt something to your AI, not become the real engineering for it. So this is how the industry changes. You can scan the QR code. I give you a 5 second to scan. So that is the ebook from the Google official to give you the prompt engineer. The next time, if you want to talk about AI, talking with your AI, or AI, any GPT, Gemini, the new one is what it's mass. So you at least you know the context and the level of the understanding and the scope that AI can give to you. So you need to dictate. Okay, I am the program manager for somewhere, then I want to do this. So the AI will behave such a way. Okay, so this is called an effective prompt. You can scan it. Let me know if the link is not working, but that one is yeah, should be good. Okay, so let's continue. All right, what is AppScript? Anyone know AppScript? Raise your hand. AppScript. It's AppScript. So you guys learn more. So this is computer science or data science? It's of both. Or anyone from accounting here? It has also no problem. To be honest, right? In this era, everyone can cross expertise technically. If you know someone like I have friend from mechanical engineer or electronic, but they don't become an architect. So that is possible, right? So it's up to you what to learn. Okay, so this is an app script. So you can scan as well. So you can see the icon there. Google App Script actually is the script that Google provides with the platform as well to integrate all the Google products and the functionality to imagine. Okay, I have a Google Map. I want to create a short route distance algorithm in my Google Map. I cannot just simply put in the degree as marker, right? So you need to you need to know how the product behaves. So they give you an extension. Okay, they give you a script to enhancing their product. Maybe you can even connect each other between the product itself. So you imagine, they say I have a Gmail, I have an email. So I want to assign something to my calendar from the data in the email. Or even I want to generate a slide automatically. All can be done by AppScript. Okay. So AppScript is for me it's underrated because not everyone knows. Then most people already go with the operating solution. There is a saying that let's say you want mango, right? You want how to say, we call it in Malay word is manga, right? Okay. You want to tanam the manga or you want to plant the mango in the soil, right? You can use your bare hand. You can use a scope or you want to use an excavator. The choice is up to you, right? So meaning from that words, right? So you need to know the use case, the constraint, the scope, then only choose your tool, right? So for example, you want like just now I saw someone show at Canva, right? So we know there is another product like Photoshop, there is another product like AOV or something, or or something. But we can do it with Canva. Why do we need to use Photoshop? Unlimited, right? Same like this. So if they say you need to know the use case or the scope of your use case, right? In that end, let's say you want to do hackathon, you want to create something out of the box. Then before we talk about the use, better we talk about the use case first. If we want to build our application or apps like a Grab, for example. Oh, okay, again, I want to have a Grab for crowd, for example. So I will accept power is other for example, right? Is it possible? Possible. Is it need to use some tools? Yes, that's the research stuff. But not decide, okay, suddenly you want to use this programming, you want to master on the JavaScript, not that way. Because that language has evolution, keep evolving like every time. So it's not advisable to master on some programming language, but it's more mastering into the use case and the scope constraint, then choose your tools. Okay. So this back to the box, AppScript. So AppScript is I can say the local platform, meaning for those that first time do programming, like they can easily understand. Hopefully, like Python, let's say for data science, or I know Python. But let's say for those that super experienced people like already have some level of experience, even easier. Right? So you know the flow, you know the integration. And then they have a hosted platform, so you don't have to worry about install in your desktop. You want to post it in the Kubernetes, or you want to post it in the domain level or the load balancer, you don't have to think about that. Okay, you don't even have to think about infrastructure. It gives you platform to use that. Okay, so this is about actually. Okay, so really concept. So back to the F-script. So F-script is a give you power to customize and automate the application and integrate to Google ecosystem. Okay, so this is the thing. Whoa, script coming. Okay. For people that learn programming all the while, like me, every single day, see the coding more than 8 hours, okay, maybe 40 is 8 hours, right? So for people like you, they say you just learn, oh, you already mastered some programming language, it's good, you know algorithm for everything. Use the F-script platform here. If you see the coding here, there is a Java script. So if you are a programmer, easily you can understand what's going on in this script, right? So there is a built-in function provided by Google to do something with their product. In this case, let's say for the line, you see the spreadsheet tab, the get active spreadsheet is a built-in function Google provide for you to play around with their spreadsheet. So assume you have a spreadsheet like Excel, the even Google have a spreadsheet like, so you can manipulate the cell inside the spreadsheet you want to play around with the data. Okay. So yeah, just a sample. Last year I have been seeing as well of this in the Google FS, but I just enhance it a bit to let you know how to integrate that easy, so you don't have to worry about the complexity. But yeah, hopefully it will inspiring you as well. Okay. So today we are going to have one use case, very simple. I also share in the GitHub, so I will give you a chance to scan my GitHub as well. So here is GitHub repository. The code all is there, and then the document is there as well. So you can scan the GitHub repository. So I can show you that. Give you 5 seconds to scan. Medium is just my personal blog. So normally I write something related to IT stuff as well, like how to use a llama, how to do OCR, yeah? All those basic things, right? So yeah. So that GitHub repository have the code. So the code itself, I won't say it's perfect, at least it's inspiring how to do the app script, okay? So later I'm going to play around with you. Wow, time to demo. Anyone? Anyone hungry or sleepy or? No worry, I'm not your lecturer again. I'm not your lecturer, I'm the guest lecturer actually here. So if I'm your lecturer, you should be worried, right? Okay, I'm your guest lecturer. You can ask me anytime or anything. Okay. Demo. So what we are going to do now? Simple. So just now you scanned the GitHub already, right? Let me show you something. So if you open the GitHub, okay, you can see my other project that I want to go in. So in the GitHub itself, right? So not sure whether the online can here as well. Oh, someone say QR code is being blocked at the top right. I'm not sure. Okay, later we share again. Okay, being blocked. Top right. Okay, so this is the GitHub. If they say you are unable to scan just now, you can. Not sure whether you can read that GitHub.com and load it over. So I attach you the Google Doc. Very simple. The Google Doc. Okay. So if you click the Google Doc, so the name is not Google. Like anyway, Google Doc actually provide you for like slide spreadsheet. Show you that you know how to do. But yeah, this is a spreadsheet for Google. Okay. So if you open, it's very simple. The spreadsheet has the data. always we talk about data. If we want to, I'm data scientist, I want to crunch the data, I want to do ETL, extraction, transformation. I want to implement the random forest, put XEU. But yeah, anyway, we have to be friendly with data. The data science should tackle them. Right? So you know the Kaggle and you know the. If you are computer science, you know the Lingo, you know the hacker, right? So you need to familiarize yourself with data and algorithm. But here we are not talking about the complexity, we are talking about the global platform like F3. So if you have to do FAD every time, every application development. So you imagine, let's say you want to build an application, have the imagination, you want to do something. If you want to wait until you finish your study in Monash, so maybe you need to study 3 years and only you can come out with something. You imagine people that people in industry, right? And all suddenly call me, hello, can you help me create an API for what month to month? Because I work in the whole company. Yeah, of course, how long you need? Okay, maybe 2-3 days, yes. I cannot wait someone 3 years, right? To do API for me. That's all the industry reality, okay? So they know they want to enhance some program, they want to make it fast. But of course, make it fast and proper, right? Not fast and varies. Okay? So, okay, let's come back to the laptop, otherwise until we talk about another stuff. Alright, so everyone, if they say have able to join, then great. Okay. So here is no worry, the Google I won't delete it. So because I have that in my personal GitHub anyway, right? So if I zoom, as you can see here, there is some data about the tool. Just imagine that, let's say you have a company. Okay, we have a tool. So this company is the post value, for example, from sport. They want to send a product to the customer, right? But it's a business to business, not a business to customer. They assign to a certain company, okay, you need to send this product tomorrow at this particular time. This is the GPS coordinate. This is the distance coordinate. Okay. Then as a courier, you will receive the email or you receive your application or your iPad that okay, I have a not Surya. Simple, right? Simple. Okay, now with this data, anybody can if they say you feel that okay, I give you a chance to give 5 seconds from this data. Is the things that we can extract from this kind of data. Sorry? Anybody? Raise hand or what kind of information? So you guys say, I'm data science, okay? I know all the algorithm. I just ask you a simple question. What kind of information that we can extract from this data set? Location for what? Okay. So we just extract the location, right? We can extract the location, right? Okay. No problem. And anybody? Other than location? Number of location per driver. Okay, so each driver maybe have multiple location, right? Okay, great. Any other? Okay, from this level? No? Nobody know? You guys can read, right? Okay, thanks. I hope you guys can read. Okay, so okay, great. There are two. One is location, second is how many locations for each grade. Anybody? Okay, so simple. From this data, right? Let's say you are the boss of the company. You see this data set. Do you think that we hire data scientists to extract it for them? They don't even know the technical of the data science. They say, we know, I know, we know. Okay, you want to create a model, you want to create an XU, you want to implement random forest. Yeah, it's good. But for the executive or the company, right, when they see this data, what the hell, right? So here, that kind of data here, I need to know the visualization for this, right? Is it will able to support my decision in the future? What kind of decision? Right, someone is location, but location, of course, there is a distance there. Is it more meaningful location or distance? Yeah, back to the use case, right? Back to the reference. For some company, most of them they use distance because they want to know the distance will affect the budget. If they say we use a car, and from there, and from on the arrow, right? So distance is very important. Second is what else we can see here. Yes, you are right, the summary of the query. So I want to know who is the query is either or who is the offer holder, right? Or who is the one that really have a lot of client friends. So two information we can extract. The third one is the email, right? So you see the email. From the email itself, we can do something here. We can send it notification, right? So if they say you have the data, then we can send the information to them. Okay, so long story short, without further ado, let's welcome the guest of the world today. So we call it app script. So let's create the app script. So if you know the app script is extension, so we have app script here. Okay. Now I have a pre-built information here. Right. So now you guys already open, right? Let's say you have a laptop, you can open in your laptop. If you have, you can open in your phone. It's okay, no worry. I don't expect you to do super things today, okay? Raining outside, someone finally and someone they talk about in the presenter talk about I also boring. Yeah, I know. Okay, I already I have also become a student last time, okay? So but yeah, maybe it's time to share the knowledge as well to you. Okay, so the most important, you see the app script location, that is a manifestation. That is the most important file in the app script. Why? Because in that particular file, you need to assign the specific permission. It asks you when you open the Google Docs just now I shared, you use what credential? Are you using the email from Gmail? Of course, right? Or anyone open with your Gmail? Raise the hand. Oh. You open your Gmail, right? You open your email. Okay. If you notice that particular manifest, right? This is the most important file that I can share with you. Because in this file, we want to, okay, the double set is equal or forget about the complexity there, whatever pop-ups program. Simple. So as let's say you are logged in as a user to the one Google product. Google knows you are the user. Okay. It's represented by your email. And some product that Google have definitely have a function. Okay. So if let's say you want to do something related to the Google product, you need to assign the permission first. Okay, you need to what is the permission? At least to let the Google know what you want it to do. I want to send email. Okay, then you need to send the email. I want to what else? Create the presentation. I want to assign something in my calendar. I want to, okay, the 7 people. What you want? In this case, I want, okay, so if I back to the document, right, before I back to the document again. Simple. First, my use case, I want to send an email to the courier. It's the second, I want to create in the calendar. Usually we don't have enough time and one day, okay? So the information I can extract it from this spreadsheet and do something and do integrate with another Google product. So we know we have a Google Calendar, we have a Google email, okay? And then the third one, I want to know whether Gemini as AI can help me to build some result or summarize. This information for me. Okay, so meaning I have to give a prompt to the Gemini that okay, this data telling me what is the data. Okay, let's go one by one. Okay, what time? 7:49. Nice. So if you see if you open the GitHub, this document, I can easily copy the document later on as well, no problem. Okay. Okay, so if you open one script call, I want to show you something first related to the Gemini. Okay, there is a function here. We call it a JavaScript function, right? So the function is very simple. It's to extract and to pass the information to the AI, give you information. So in this level, right, this is the really first level of understanding integration. So we call it integration to the API of AI. Okay. So the AI is replaced by the API. You need API key in order to access that AI. Okay. How to get the API key? Anyone remember? What? So let's say I want to call this. Okay, first I want to ask the AI first. What is the data meaning about? Okay, so if let's say I put in the document. So you see, I put a prompt like this. Check the total distance. Okay. Then I put the result here. Okay, result. Simple. So I want to understand the total distance from this information. Okay, so for example, give me summary, for example, of this data set. Because I have a function that I created before, so I just want to call the function itself. Okay, so that is why, because the time is so limited, so I give you a script. So as you know, so you see the Gemini API key actually require the API key. So the API key you can get from the Google Studio. So you need to go to the AI Studio, Google.com, search API key in order to get the API key. Bear in mind that API key in this case is a free tier, then you can use it free. Okay. So how you know you are in the free tier or in the premium level? Back to the Google Cloud level. Okay, now the information of Google Cloud. So you need to register yourself in Google Cloud definitely. Okay, Google Cloud gives you a $300 is actually if you register today. Of course, I'm not the one that endorsed that. Okay, so Google Cloud free tier. Okay. So let's say I go to this guy. Let's say we go to the this for free fixed tier. So let's do this. Okay, so if I do the overview, pricing, pricing. So you see, 300 free credit, 20 plus free product. But of course, in order to use this, you need to at least have a prepaid Visa card or the credit card as well to access the Google Cloud. Okay. So imagine, let's say you have that, then only you can continue with this. Okay. So the first, you need to register yourself to the Google console, Google Cloud. Okay. Once you register, then you can get the API key. Okay. So someone asks, can I get the API key directly registered? It's not accessible, definitely it's also limited. So better you register yourself to Google Cloud ecosystem first, access the free tier, then start the API key for you. Okay. So like for example, like me, maybe I registered Google already long time ago. Okay. So for example, here, I create a new API key. For example, in this case. Then if I create the API key here, they will ask you the project. Okay. So because I have some project in my Google Cloud, so I just use, let's say you want to create a new one, you just choose your project. This project will tie to your building. So if you generate the API key, then it will give you the API key to access the Google ecosystem of the AI. Then only you can interact with AI. Anyone have API clearance? Nobody? Or anyone worry what I will be charged, how many, $1,000? So, or anyone have a Google console account? Anyone? No? Great, no problem. So at least after this, you can register first to Google console, then you can use this AI. Okay, I able to you, at least you know the step by step. Okay, so at least you need to register because it time to being settled in the end of the day. Okay, because it's free tired anyway, so feel free. So if let's say I run the app script without the API key, what will happen? So if imagine, let's say I want to run the app script, how I run the app script? So you see, I have the script sample, right? So if let's say you want to create from the scratch, or also can fine. So imagine, let's say I cut this one. So you imagine, let's say you create from scratch. So let's say I copy this, I put it somewhere, for example, where. Okay, so if let's say I remove this script, and let's say we create from scratch script. Okay, Gemini. Then I paste the function, or you write yourself, up to you. So there is a button for deploy here. So imagine from the first stage that you have a script, then you want to expose this script to the Google ecosystem. So meaning this function can be accessed not only by the spreadsheet, but also can access by Google Doc, by Google Slide, or by email, by calendar. Okay, so I have to deploy this. Deploy to where? Deploy to the Google. Okay. So here, if I click the new deployment, it should have something here to allow you to deploy. Then it will reflect. Okay, not sure why it's very have a loading bar here. I think it's pretty slow if that's the case. Let me refresh the page. Just to demo to you. Page here, deploy. Okay, so we can put add Gemini. Okay, so you see the execute as. Okay, so interestingly, Google also provide a way to access this script externally, not only by your account, but you can share to public, by the App Store or the web store, as well as the Chrome web store, you can use it. Okay, so for example here, right now I put only myself, or anyone with Google account, you can tie to the specific Google, anyone that has a Google account. This one is what this because for my own purpose, for my own experiment, I want to will experiment myself first. If you configure, then you release it out. Okay. So you will deploy. So when you deploy, okay. So they give you the deployment ID, and they give you the web app. So you see the script is attack under macro. Okay. So this one is really important. If they say you want to create an open authentication or opt-out mechanic login to the open exchange. For this case, for today, because the time is super limited, and it's still integration very close to the next time is that we have a start again today. I will show you how to integrate the go-out 2.0. So that one is using the redirection URL, you need to create the go-out consent string, you need to create the go-out login mechanic. So you can from the permission give a permission to the user that want to use your script. Okay, because that script anyway is script, right? So someone will use this script anyway. For this case is us. It's for our personal purpose. If you want to share this script to another people also, right? So for now it's because it's used by us, I don't have to share it with anyone. So let's say now I have the function. So this function, it should be available into this workspace, right? So, okay, so maybe I calling, oh, this is the core function. So the one that we are need to call from the, what's the question? Oh, there is a question. I hope you will get a question. Okay, later after this I will explain, okay? So now let's say you have an ABI key. So I want to see the Korea calendar first. Okay, we have a checkbox. Now we have a Gemini. Fetch data from Gemini is there. So that's why it's text Gemini API key. So let's go to the. Okay. So you see there is a file, another file called GDSC output event. So if you click, there is another function. Analyze with Gemini API key. So this function purpose is to analyze what is the value inside the spreadsheet and then pass it to Gemini.
Okay, so in this case, so as you can see here, there is a function called analyze with Gemini API. Okay, so I want to call this function. Okay, now a bit refers and inner because technically I already showed the script for you. I already deploy myself, right? So at least now if you open the Google, you can deploy yourself in your account. Okay, so if today you have a anyone, someone last time asked me as well, do I need to pay anything for Google Apps Script? Actually, you don't have to worry. Actually, don't pay, don't charge anything for Apps Script. But if you have the professional integration, then better you professional about the Google Cloud. So at least you can integrate with all of this in Google Cloud and big data query or big query or anything. But for the apps integration itself, you call the email or whatever, it won't charge you anything. Okay, so don't worry. Okay, so I want to call that function. So you see the function, if you are using, if someone teach you Excel or if you someone teach you something about the spreadsheet, normally you have a built-in function like sum, right? Like average. Okay. Now, what if let's say I have my own function here? So my own function definitely is here, right? So I want to go to auto event. So if I go to the So I already showed you how to deploy the script. So imagine this script already being deployed. So you just need to call, okay? So let's call this script. Then you just paste it here. Okay. So the function actually is like you learn math, right? So you need to pass in parameter there. Okay. So you need to pass in the range cell. Okay, range cell meaning I want to the data is from A1 to G16. So A1, G16. Okay, and then I want to put the prompt cell. So the prompt is technically is this guy. I want to pass the data to Gemini. This is the prompt. And then what else? Data type. So data type here, actually, I just create a custom switch here just to let fix those. So you see, I want to formulate the data first before I pass to Gemini. So we try to read the cell value and then try to extract it one by one. So meaning I want to have a loop here and then append it to the formatted data plus equals it will be meaning it will try to combine every data available in that range. Okay. So the Korean row 0, row 1, row 6. Okay, 0, 1, 6. 0 is here. 1 is here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Always array, always array answer 0, 1, 6. So in this way, technically, what I have here, technically, I just want to consider about these big columns. Okay, so I want to have this big column only before I pass to Gemini. So simple. So even though I pass in all the range, but what I interest in only these three columns. Okay, so I just put the this one actually is Fourier. Okay. Because the case is Fourier is equal to data type, right? So the Fourier is equal to this, and then we will talk with the Gemini. So that's that. Okay. See, there is an error here. Error invalid argument. Okay. So invalid argument meaning there is something wrong in this particular line. You see what is wrong here? Because the API key is not being something to or being replaced. So you need to pass in the API. Where is the API key problem? Anyone? Raise the hand. Anyone API key problem? AI Studio, yeah? Okay. If you ask your friend, it's fine. You still have time to learn, okay? But of course, remember that Google AI Studio requires you to have access to the Google Cloud console. So meaning you need to have a credit card or you need to have a prepaid visa or anything you can sign or in order to validate yours in the Google. Okay. because I already have definitely I already can use. Okay, so I just generate the API key just now. So let's go back to the API key. Copy this guy. So I want to change this. Just now the function is here. Okay, so this is not a standard practice, right? So normally the big company, normal company would, if you know the security, the key normally we are not storing any form. The key normally we are storing in the specific key port or the port that the most secure than this one because for the purpose is fine. In the future, if you already have the product with the Google Workspace, try to store this in a specific manner. Either you use a text box to prompt user key manually, that can only available in memory, or you want to store it in the Google. There is a multi system, the Google One, so you can store it there. I think because Extrude have to integrate with any Google product with data, machinery, front-end AI. You can do this for Extrude. So you imagine how powerful this ecosystem. Okay, so let's say I deploy this function. So you see the new deployment I have every time need to, let's say, an API key. So you can treat this as a version control like in GitHub. So you can refer it anyway if they say has an error, right? So let's try deploy. Okay, now I want to call. Back to this. Oh, okay, now it's working already. Not yet. Now it's working. So when I pass the API key, because Google have a mechanic in asynchronous background, it will have to check the function and execute automatically every 5 seconds. So if they say we already deployed it, it will automatically check. So this value is coming from none. Magically, not from me. Okay. So the prompt is just check the distance, then the value is showing that. Simple, right? So let's say I put a prompt. Who has the most activity? For example, okay, how many email remember this one is function, right? So because it is function, then meaning you can. So if I drop this, so I want to drag this. So this technically trigger the function. So if you trigger the F, it will trigger the I want. Okay. So now you have integration. Easy, right? Any questions so far? Is it Gemini? So after this, we go to calendar. So after this, we will generate the event calendar automatically. Okay. So from this perspective, actually, you can integrate with Gemini as long as you have a data set. Okay, you have data, you can set a prompt. I already shared to you the PDF for the prompt engineering, right? So you can set a specific prompt to your AI. Do whatever you want. You want to generate summary, you want to generate something, you want to do whatever you want. Okay. Okay, so as you can see here, there is a limit. Because why? There is a limit of data set here. Let's say I do it, for example. So every AI set there in the market, so technically have a same constraint. So the constraint is dictated or decided by you. It's up to you. So for example, let's say I go to the Extrude again. So this is the generation config. If, for example, you are really good at data science or in machine learning, right? You will familiar with this word, temperature, okay, and okay. Okay, that forwards is very important for those that really want deep into the modern science.
Okay. Right now, is a provided as API, everyone have one API only, right? But if they say we want to pick on, so we need to learn the parameter that Google provided. So Google provide the parameter in here. So let's say so you see there is this is a Effortless AI, another machine learning platform provided by Google. Okay, so if you want to build your own model, you want to build your own data set, then you can use Effortless AI. Okay, but in the sense of the API integration, I want to show you the API integration as well for the what do you call it? Let's go to this. API integration should be this Google One. Okay, so it should be defined. Let's go to Google One. You have some parameter that allow you to manipulate the AI output, the token, the stop limit, and the delimiter. All those you can see here. So if I go to the flash, the 9 Pro with flash. Special pattern. See the API next to API notification. For example, so there is a certain parameter, right, that they allow you to play. For example, this one. So as you can see here, if I zoom, there is a configure text configuration, the config, or we call it the config. So here you can define the stop sequence, temperature, max output, okay, okay. Okay, so here is the sample of the parameter that you can pick. What is the parameter about, or some of them about the mention of the string that they return to you, or some is related to the stop. So you can set a stop. The purpose to set the stop for the AI itself later on you will see that in the coming, if they say we talk again about this AI. Okay. So okay, long story short, because the time is limited, let's go to the how to generate the event in the calendar. Okay, so AI already done. So let's go to calendar. So the calendar is here. So as you can see here, there's a okay, add selected courier to calendar. I create the function, but also need to substitute the calendar ID. So the calendar ID gets formatted. So let's go to the calendar Google. So here, as you can see, this is my calendar. So I create my own calendar called STDSC. Then I check the setting and sharing. Then I want to get the calendar ID here. So the calendar ID provided here. Okay. So as you can see here, in order to integrate with calendar, you need to know what calendar ID you want. So each of the user will have multiple calendars. Each calendar has their own ID. So we can interact with this calendar. We want to assign the event. Or we want to put
event into the calendar. Let's see how it works. Let's I copy this guy. Then I put the script just now into the Korean calendar. So if you still follow me, you can open the Korean calendar. Maybe I'm too fast, I know, maybe the time is okay. So I substitute the calendar ID information here. So as you can see here, there is some interesting information. Again, this is a built-in function provided by Google in order to read the cell in the spreadsheet. This is the first function. The function here actually is the Google provided you to access the calendar by the calendar ID. You have the value from the Google sheet, and you have a value. You see the way we get the data is from the sheet by name. So meaning we are passing Korean schedule, it's matched with the sheet name here. So sheet name here actually is sheet 1. So we need to change to the Korean schedule first. Otherwise it won't work. So there is a lot of mechanic in order to get value from the spreadsheet by sheet ID, by the date range, or by anything. Okay. So you have a Korean schedule, sheet have to be renamed to Korean schedule to match with this, or you can rename to match anything. At least you know the logic here is to query the data by the name. Okay, then calendar ID is there, then calendar ID is there, blah blah blah. Okay, now back to 0, 1, 2. So you see the Korean name is assigned by row 0, row 1, and row 2. Okay, now if I go back to here, 0, 1, 2. Okay, 0, 1, 2. So meaning 1 is represent date and time. Right? So we interest in the date and time actually to plug into our calendar. But the information we want to put into our calendar is A. Okay. So here, if I go back to the list 1, okay, now this function, right? Add selected query to calendar. There is a selected row here. Okay. So I want to call this one. Sample in my two document here. The document is here. Okay. No worry, this is just a sample. So you see here, actually we can also execute the function from here. So if I send the script, okay, what did the string show dialog? Okay. Show dialog is meaning I have a script for show dialog here. It should be. We go to this selection dialog. Okay. This is auto event. Click calendar event. Okay, so Gemini is done for this. Let's go to the just now is create calendar event. Okay. Okay, sorry. This is the function just now. We don't have to pass the function parameter. Now, so I want to show the automation here. So this function, technically, it will try to scrap the data from the spreadsheet and want to send the, want to create the calendar. I want to create a trigger. So here, if I copy this function, then I go to this particular section called trigger. Okay. So the interesting part in the Google App Script, they provide you the kind of cron job. So meaning you want to do it automatically. Okay. You set a certain time frame, then the execution happens. So I want to create a trigger here. If they say I create a trigger, I just call the function that I'm interested in. So in this case, if you still remember just how we have to ask it called create the event calendar, right? So if I go back this create calendar event, then let's say I zoom out, then I create the trigger event source by time driven. Then I just change this to the minutes timer. Then I want to create it every minute. So meaning every minute it will span my calendar. Okay. Maybe it will. Let's try. So if I save, okay, now we have time-based function. Every minute we will execute this in create calendar event. Later I will show you if still have time the how to make sure the function is work before we create the trigger. There is a debugging can hidden as well in the script. So here, if let's say I want to know whether this function is being executed, so we need to see the execution. So here the status is running. So if I open my calendar, where is my calendar? Oh, now it's going automatically in my calendar.
Open the data, come to my calendar. Here, what is here? Just like this one, easy. Enter you try. Interesting, right? So at least give you something like Google Calendar. You use Google Calendar in your Android device, right? Then if let's say you use Android, someone say, I use iPhone, I'm not using Android. Okay, well, sorry, you are not an Android device. But at least you know that Google provides you a calendar application that can be clicked. Okay, so here I have the data set, then I want to create a calendar. Okay, I already showed you. Done.
Now you see, become 3.
What become 3? Every minute I keep spamming my calendar, right? Because I create the trigger every minute. So give me piece of the value.
I need to stop my calendar, my trigger first. Otherwise, my calendar will go. Okay. So I need to go back to my trigger. So if I edit this trigger, either I can change it to day level, just to make it stop, or just delete it. Simple. Let's say I change it to day. Then I go to project execution here. Okay, so as you can see here, different 1 minute exact, right? Exactly 1 minute, right? Take 20 and take 21. Okay, so the accuracy is there. So now you know the integration. You have data set, you can connect with Gemini, you get the data. Okay, you know you can create a calendar based on the data. Okay, that's match the data. Now the courier key is just cherry pick any data. Let's say courier what is the one that in the this is this one, right? Okay. The courier F actually is the courier I just cherry pick. Courier H. Courier H is 23rd of March, 11 o'clock PM. 23rd of March. Okay. 23rd of March. Right. Right. So you can see the event is auto-populated in the Google Calendar. So from the data set, you can now create the calendar automatically. Now, next, last but not least, until 8:30, is it? Or we have a time to question, or still have time, right? To continue, or until 8:30, or
there will be a Q&A section.
oh, okay, great. Yeah. No problem. Because we just said it's 7 and 10, right?
Alright.
Okay, yeah. So I will introduce one more function to send the email. Okay, let's see. So if you still with me, I'm not sure where are you. Okay, so we have the auto event function here. So I have created another function to send the email or to generate the document. Even I have function to generate the document as well. Or maybe I can directly go to generate document better easy. So okay, so this function will help us to generate the document based on the value in the spreadsheet and then generate it as a PDF and then it will send the email. Okay, so because this one is for one email, for this one is generate for email. Okay, I generate this function as well if that's the case. Okay, let's create another trigger to trigger this function. Now, okay, just now I say the trigger, right? So how I know this function it will work before I set the trigger? So I can test with the run function here. So you can choose the function here. You choose the function in the F script. You choose just now I create the create instance report. Just run. Execution completed. Wait, nice. Can we debug it? Yes, we can debug it. Even if they say you want to know each value here, you put a breakpoint, you can debug it. So when you debug, it will automatically run to one by line to know the value inside the function. I'm not sure whether Monash is sure about debugging this university, but anyway, as programmer or data science, you need to understand what debugging, right? You need to step by step, each line of code, you need to understand what's going on. Okay, so let's continue. So as you can see here, the data variable here, if I open the sheet parameter, then if I continue to the report, if I step in. Okay, so you can see here the data. Oh, this is the header. If you see the mouse here, if I have a magnifier, not sure whether my magnifier is working, but yeah. So, okay, if I zoom, you see the data here. So the array show you the value that we see in the spreadsheet, right? Now it's already populated in the file. Okay. So if I zoom back again, then I continue, send it. So we will try to generate a report and then send to the email. Okay, so I just continue. So you can see the variable here, you can play around with the variable. Okay, so where is the email? Okay, now because I use my email here, meaning it's my own personal email here, and then I want to send to manager at example.com. It should appear in my mailbox. So I just open my, let's say this is my remote machine. If I click the send, let me see whether I can see my email. So you see, just to see my email, I have to spawn my virtual machine in Google Cloud, then do remote install my Linux machine then. Okay, so let's go to my Linux machine just to see my email, whether the things is being set or populated. Okay, so I can see the value here. Please find the attached report. All right, so we can see the value here. Because the app script allow you to integrate with the email ecosystem as well. And not only that, it will allow you to generate the document. Okay, so now you see the three information here: calendar, terminal, document, and the email. Okay, so if the function works, then you can create a trigger. Simple, right? So you can set another trigger that is automatically set to you. Then I think that's it for today. Any question? Because I keep the time straight, otherwise I can explain you more next hour. But yeah, it's okay. Any question or from the?
Yep. Okay, so any questions here? And I think there's one question in the chat, right? Yep. So the question is, how could we create the app script.json file? From his site, it's only .js and
Great.
.html.
Thank you for the question. Coming from where? Yeah. Okay, good. So good question. So if you notice by default, the app script will not show the app setting.json or app script.json. You need to go to the setting here. So if you go to project setting, you need to enable this checkbox. So there is a checkbox here, show app script.json manifest file folder. So there is a checkbox that you need to. Yeah, I haven't explained earlier. So technically it's not created manually. So you need to enable it because it's manifest by AppScript by Google. Okay. I hope this answers your question. Everybody?
Anyone from the chat as well? Okay, I think that's it for the Q&A session.
QR code to the profile.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. Then maybe I can give
Yeah, sure.
hello, hello. Okay, so LinkedIn profile. Anyone interested in my LinkedIn? Okay, no problem. So let's go to this. So here is after demo, the site is simple, then we will go through session, right? So you can add me in LinkedIn or they say you something like some of the organizers here as well find me in LinkedIn anyway, right? So yeah, don't worry. Then I attach my Medium and I attach deep learning focus. So if they say you want to learn deep learning focus, it's for the community that you want to learn machine learning and deep learning. So you can know better how because right now I just show you the integration with the API of Gemini. I'm moving the API itself is really big, really technical, really technical. So there is a very interesting integration happening as well. If you learn from the what we call it Google phase, using phase as a platform to show you the model AI model, so it becomes the AI model. But anyway, thanks a lot for your opportunity. But yeah, see you again in the next coming workshop. Bye. Yeah.
So thank you, Mr. Ivan. And to those online, this will be it. Thank you for coming.
By the way, for the recording, we will be sharing the recording in GDG's YouTube channel, and then we will be sharing with GitHub Hack account as well. So no worries, we will be sharing the details. No worries.
Hey, so before we end,